Welcome to the first of many visualizations. We're first going to focus on something that's very close to me because I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's disease about 17 years ago. I was a stage 4B with total bone marrow involvement. I was a wreck. My bone marrow stopped making blood cells and my doctor thought the chemo might even kill me. That's how far gone I was. Now this very first visualization that I'm going to share with you, it's called the melting game. It's the first one I ever did with the first chemo that was in my body, and it set the stage for the rest of my treatment, all the way from chemo to radiation to now, where I am super healthy, and you can be that person too. Here are our characters. We have Mr. C. Now he's greedy and weak and beady-eyed and selfish, and he just takes up space in your body. He's very unwelcome. Just look at him. Next, we have a healthy cell. Now the healthy cells are always happy and smiling and eager and plentiful. And when you see one healthy cell, you're going to see more and more because they're there to help you. And then what else do we have? Well, how about a chemo cloud? Yeah, that's full of chemo and it's going to rain all over the cancer cells, all over Mr. C and all his clones. It's going to rain on the healthy cells too. But the good thing about that is the healthy cells are so strong that the chemo's not going to hurt them. But those Mr. C's, those cancer cells, all those Mr. C clones and all his friends, well, they're just going to melt because you know what? They're not all that strong and they're confused. They're lost. And you can easily beat them because the healthy cells, why, they're so much stronger. Let's get started. The first thing you want to do is lower the lights and find a quiet place where you can lie back and just be comfortable. If you're in a chair or a bed, it doesn't matter. Just let your whole body sink back. Breathe in. Exhale. Let's picture everyone here. We've got Mr. C. We've got a healthy cell, Mr. H. And we've got a chemo cloud. All you have to do is melt Mr. C. We don't want to melt anything else. So imagine Mr. C. Imagine how he looks weak and confused. Look at his black beady eyes. He's rude. You don't like him, it's okay. Nobody likes him. Now picture the healthy cells, smiling and happy. You see one float by, and now you see a whole bunch of them float by, and they're just so happy to be there. Now imagine a chemo cloud. It's as bright as you want it to be. It's a little blue, it's a little yellow, it's a little orange. It looks very energetic and lit up and happy to be there to help you. It's floating so nicely above you. And you see Mr. C, just one single Mr. C, floating beneath. And if you don't see it, just close your eyes, wait a moment, and let the image come to you. Do you see it? Good. Now watch as the cloud slowly starts to rain. Hot, gooey, yellowish, orange, chemo raindrops landing on Mr. C. He looks a little startled and he starts to melt. Other Mr. C's come out and the same thing happens. The chemo cloud rains and rains all over the Mr. C's. Looking around, you see a healthy cell, a nice, happy, healthy cell, Mr. H. And he comes in and he just flies around slowly, looking around. And then you look and you see more Mr. H's, more healthy cells, just flying in there to protect you, surrounding all the melting Mr. C's, all the Mr. C clones, all his friends. They just start melting. Looking down, you see all the melted Mr. C's in a pile of goo, looking helpless, and there's nothing they can do. They lose and you win. It's just the way it is. And now you look around and you look all through the cloud and around the cloud and you see a few hiding Mr. C's. They like to hide, but that's okay. There's a few healthy cells that are racing around and they bring all the hiding Mr. C's out right under the chemo cloud, and the chemo cloud just rains and rains and rains some more. It's a melting party and it makes you feel strong and happy. You feel like you could survive. You feel like you could be healthy again. Say, I feel strong. Good. Now say, I feel healthy. Good. Now say, I feel stronger than my cancer. And let's also say, I will survive. Good job. Keep those positive words floating around in your mind all day long. Put them on the wall, write them down on paper, and put them in your bathroom, put them on the fridge. Keep them close to you at all times. You can never say them too often. Say goodbye, Mr. C. It's your body and you're in control. Don't ever forget that. Now every time you get chemo, this is the visualization to follow. The melting game. All you have to do is melt Mr. C. That's your only job. Melt, melt, melt. Melt Mr. C. Melt. Just close your eyes and melt him. Just keep melting him. You can never melt him enough. Ah. Stay tuned. I'll be showing you a whole lot more.